Coming up on City Spotlight, we are talking Charleston with Eastern Illinois University President Dr. David Glassman. We will discuss what has transpired in the 2016 fall semester at EIU and new programs being offered at EIU. And we will also talk Charleston businesses with Cindy White, President and CEO of the Charleston Area Chamber of Commerce. That's next on City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com. Welcome to another edition of City Spotlight. Today, the focus is on Charleston, and we'd like to welcome back to the program the president of Eastern Illinois University, Dr. David Glassman.
Thank you, Ramin. It's good to be here.
Pleasure to have you back on. We had you on last fall of 2015, and we sit here at the beginning of December. Fall semester is, wow, it just went by real fast, didn't it?
Oh, this has been the fastest semester I think I've ever had. It just went like lightning this year, and I can't believe this is the last week of classes.
It certainly is. Thanksgiving was just recently, and what are you thankful for that has transpired at EIU in 2016?
Oh, well, this Thanksgiving was a great time to reflect and to look at all the things that I've been thankful for, and particularly at EIU. I'm just so thankful for the passion of our faculty and our staff and for our community. They've just brought so much support to everything that we do here. I just couldn't be more thankful for my time that I've been at EIU and look forward to our great future.
I've noticed driving around Charleston, you can't help but not notice the signs of We Love EIU. And when you see that, because you can't really miss them, they're everywhere, how does that make you feel, and what does that say about the community?
Well, it makes me feel so proud to be in a university and in a community that really work as one. Since the day that I came here, it's been obvious that Charleston is EIU, EIU is Charleston, and even beyond that, we're all of Coles County and the surrounding counties, and everyone is so supportive that it's just a wonderful reminder every time you're driving around. This community loves EIU.
They certainly do, for sure. And I want to talk to you now about something that transpired the day before Thanksgiving, and Illinois Board of Education approved some money that will aid Eastern, Western Illinois University, and Chicago State University. When and if EIU gets that money, how will it be used?
Oh, well, I'm sure we'll get the money that has been allocated by the IBHE. And the money that's coming to Eastern is for essential operations so that we can maintain the high academic excellence of our programs, both academic and non-academic, throughout the university. So we're very, very pleased with this.
Okay, and it's been a I don't want to use the word battle, but I'm going to use the word battle that you've had to for the 18 months you've been here at Eastern with the state budget impasse at this time. I'm sure you're confident, as well as other university presidents, that there will be a state budget here at some point in 2017?
Well, we certainly hope so. We don't believe that the budgetary impasse can last forever. And as anybody knows who knows me, I'm a very optimistic individual, and I'm certainly hoping for a grand compromise to take place that will allow us to have a total budget for higher education, one that's stable and predictable. And that's what we're looking for as the chief executive officers of public universities, is just to have that stableness so that we can do the planning that's necessary in order to fulfill our mission as the state would like us to do.
And if for whatever reason there isn't one sooner than later, the stopgap method will probably be the way to go until that happens.
Yeah, I believe that will certainly be the case if we don't get a grand compromise, but I'm going to lean towards getting a budget passed in 2017 and that everybody returning to a normal fiscal attitude.
Okay, very good, thank you. Last time you were on, I remember you saying that one of your favorite moments of the year is the school year, is when the students come back to campus. And I remember that first day, this past fall semester, and it was a beautiful day. Talk about the energy that the students coming back to campus brings to EIU in Charleston.
Well, certainly, the most important aspect of EIU is our students. That's what our mission is all focused upon. And that's what gives us the joy of being educators, to see the students come to EIU to mature and develop and to leave EIU as wonderful alums who are going to be successful in their careers. And so when you go through the summer and you see, we have a number of camps that students are coming to and so on, but not a huge number at any one time. And then all of a sudden you have this influx of thousands of students coming on this campus, and they're excited, and their parents are excited, and they're out shopping, and our store owners are excited. And the entire community just takes on a wonderful shine, just a brightness in the eye when those students come back every fall. I felt that the first year, I felt it again the second year, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful sight.
Another beautiful day we had this fall was homecoming. Homecoming was late October there, and another great event for Charleston and EIU, and saw you and Mayor of Charleston, Dr. Brandon Combs there, and what is some of your favorite things about EIU homecoming?
Well, I certainly love the parade, and I love to be in the car with Dr. Combs, and we just have so much fun throwing out the candy, to the various kids that line the parade route. And one of the things that Dr. Combs and I, Mayor Combs and I, reflect on every time that we're doing that is how much EIU and the community are together. And we have people coming to the homecoming parade that are coming from across the region, not just in Coles County, for this event. And the parade this year was wonderful. The weather was spectacular.
Yes, it was.
The people that came out to the football game had a great time. It's just picture perfect, everything that took place. And everybody left that day just going, man, this was a great homecoming. And of course, the Rural King truck that had the semi-truck that they had the EIU wrapping around it, I could hear the crowd clapping as it went past.
Right.
And that was just a lot of fun.
I was up filming parts of the homecoming parade, and I saw that brand new, it's a new addition to the homecoming, EIU homecoming. Is that going to be a staple for?
Well, we'll have to see. We certainly hope so. And we know that the trucks will be around for the next 4 or 5 years. And we look forward to having them in our parade every year.
We talked on our last City Spotlight on Charleston just a few months ago about EIU homecoming. And it's not just an EIU event, it's a Charleston event. So really it's an outpouring of not just all the alumni that come back, it's definitely a community event.
Absolutely, and that's what's so important, that this homecoming bridges the town-gown relationship of EIU with Charleston and Mattoon and Effingham and Paris and Marshall, Tuscola, Arcola, everybody coming together to celebrate on that day, and it's just a wonderful sight.
You delivered your second State of the University address there in early September, and you mentioned a lot of what's transpired and what might be transpiring in the future. What are some of the new programs that are going to be offered at Eastern moving forward?
Yeah, we've been looking at a lot of our programs, our current programs, and how to modernize our current programs to attract more students to EIU, but also looking at programs that we don't have and what we want to add to our curriculum and to our array so that even more students will come here. And just in the last couple of years, we've added a major in public relations. The areas of technology and healthcare are so important because they are growing so fast in the workforce development. And we started a new program, graduate program in cybersecurity, an undergraduate program in computer information technologies and system technologies, and a new program in health communications, something that we know is going to be very, very attractive to a lot of students out there who want to get in the healthcare profession. And we're going to be continuing to look more and more at these new programs to really meet the needs of students that are out there.
Some very interesting courses, some of them definitely of the time now, like cyber technology.
Sure.
Also, something that I noticed was that you have an increase in international students?
That's correct. In fact, we have the largest number of international students on our campus this fall than we've ever had before. And that's 438 international students coming from across the world. So EIU is now becoming a globalized university that benefits the learning of everybody, our domestic students, our international students, and even our community benefits from having international students on our campus. When I came here a year ago, I set a goal of by fall 2017 to have 500 international students on our campus. At that time we had about 300 or so. So you can see it's grown so fast by making it a priority initiative that there's no question by next fall we'll have well over 500 international students.
And at commencements and convocations, you see all the flags of all the countries?
Absolutely, absolutely. And they also walked in the homecoming parade, many of them in their traditional costumes or clothes that they would have, as well as holding their flags, and it was really nice.
All right, very good. I want to ask you about this vitalization project that's been going on. For folks at home that may not know what it is and how will it benefit EIU?
Yeah. In this semester, I initiated what I've been calling the Vitalization Project. And within that project, we're looking at a lot of our programs and our services that we provide our students at EIU. And we're assessing them to make sure that they are not only efficient, but that they are serving our students to the high level that we want our students to experience. And we also want to have the right programs, academic programs, that students are looking for today in today's market. Many of our students are very, very interested in having career placement at the end of their 4 years. And we realize that we still need to have and maintain a very, very strong liberal arts foundation for all of our students. But at the same time, we have to look at some professional areas and provide programming, whether it's in technology or healthcare, education, of course, which has been a strong brand of EIU for many, many decades, to blend these together to really create students who are well taught, that are fulfilled with a great breadth of knowledge, and also are highly marketable out into the workforce.
These work groups, I believe you said there's 9 of them?
Correct. There are 9 work groups that are looking at different services or different programs. They've been working extremely hard this semester. They have already come up with preliminary recommendations that are being reviewed by various segments of campus, and their final recommendations will be to me on December 15th. So I know what I'm going to be doing over the intercession between the fall and spring, looking at a lot of recommendations. And I'm excited as to what will come forward.
All right, we look forward to seeing how those work out. Coming up in our next segment here on this episode of City Spotlight, we'll have Cindy White, President and CEO of the Charleston Area Chamber of Commerce. Cindy was one of many community leaders back in late February that was a part of an event gathering at Old Main, talk about the EIU's impact on East Central Illinois. We had mayors, some who have been on here on City Spotlight, and what did you learn from that hour-long gathering of community leaders and what they said?
Yeah, what I loved about it is that it was a forum just talking about what is the impact of EIU, what's the impact on our students, what's the economic impact in our region as a regional public university, and what's the impact of our alums as they become successful entrepreneurs, leaders of education, leaders of industry, leaders of science, the impact that this institution has for our state and beyond. And to hear the testimonials by individuals and leaders of our community and the mayors and so on really left me with this strong feeling of this is a place that is so important, and this is a place that really needs to thrive and flourish, that we will do everything that we can to have the extremely bright future.
It was good to hear all those comments, and there was a very good turnout for that meeting. I know that was about 10 months ago, but it was a very, very interesting gathering. A lot of great thoughts from some of our community leaders. Let's talk about any accolades or achievements that EIU has received. I understand the residence halls were...
Residence halls were just provided with a great accolade of being essentially the best in Illinois. And we are so proud of our residence halls and our staff that monitor our residence halls. They're great living environments, and that's one of the things that Eastern does so well, is that we see ourselves as more than just a learning experience for students. It's a learning and living experience for them. We know that they spend a lot of hours in the classroom and a lot of hours studying, but at the same time, there's a lot of hours that are spent just living, communicating, becoming strong leaders, interacting socially with one another. And so we develop a number of services and activities in order to foster that experience. And one of the things that I have seen and that I've learned about EIU that really distinguishes it among all of the other public universities is the excellence of that living and learning balance that we provide to our students.
Okay, very good. Congratulations on that award.
Thank you.
As we wrap up here with you, Dr. Glassman, at this very moment, if you had to tell somebody some key words about what EIU is right now, what would those key words be?
I would say that EIU is vital, it's flourishing, and it's preparing ourselves for a great future 2020 and beyond, and just watch what's going to happen. It's going to be great.
People are seeing this as a first episode of 2017, and are there any other things that you're looking forward to most in the spring semester?
Looking for, from the vitalization process, all the new ideas and recommendations that are going to be provided and implemented in order for this university to flourish as it needs to do.
We look forward to seeing how that all turns out and all the other things you've talked about. Dr. David Glassman, the president of Eastern Illinois University, thank you for taking the time to be on City Spotlight.
It's been a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Coming up next, we'll talk Charleston businesses with Cindy White, president and CEO of the Charleston Area Chamber of Commerce. But first, let's take a look at some upcoming activities going on in Charleston. And we're back here on City Spotlight, this episode on Charleston. And joining us now is the president and CEO of Charleston Area Chamber of Commerce, Cindy White.
Thank you for the invitation.
Pleasure to have you on. First time guest here on City Spotlight, and look forward to your comments. And first off, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? How long have you been with the Chamber and in Charleston?
Well, I was born and raised in Northern Illinois and came down here to EIU to go to school. So I am an alumna of EIU and ended up staying. So Charleston is home now, and I've actually been with the Chamber of Commerce for 20 years now.
All right, wealth of experience there. So let's get the right person to talk to about the Chamber. Very good. First off, Cindy, let's talk about what's the role of the Chamber.
Well, the Chamber is a membership organization, so our businesses have to choose to be a member of that organization. Our primary mission is to support those businesses, to help them grow and expand, and then beyond that, to support the business community, to be an advocate for our businesses, and even beyond that, to help with community betterment and growth, so the overall community.
So we're retaining businesses, and you also mentioned before we started taping, fostering entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
right.
very good. Let's talk about some of those businesses in Charleston, and I think the place to start before we talk about some of those new businesses that we've talked about recently here on City Spotlight is there's 3 different corridors, business districts in Charleston. What are they?
Well, we do have 3 different business corridors. The oldest one is around the square. Of course, that was the hub of activity in all the businesses for many decades in Charleston. And then a lot of that business activity moved out on Lincoln Avenue with proximity to the campus and everything. And one of our newer ones where we've really seen some growth is the 18th Street corridor. So there have been pockets of things going on in each of those corridors. They each have their own unique ambiance and strengths. And there have been things happening around the square. We've seen things, businesses renovating new facades and whatever on Lincoln Avenue. And then there's been some actually new businesses pop up on 18th Street. So yeah, lots of neat activity throughout the community.
And this is the last time we talked with Mayor Brandon Combs and City Manager Scott Smith. A lot of these new businesses popping up here over the summer, the last 6 months of last half of 2016, and they both kind of echoed the comments of that they haven't seen this type of activity in Charleston and 18th Street. I'm from Charleston, as people probably know, and there's a lot more businesses there. And you also notice with 18th Street, it's also Illinois Route 130, and so you have all these businesses now that have popped up along 130 and 18th Street, and traffic moving back and forth, and that can obviously be a major strength for Charleston moving forward.
Yes. There was the economic downturn in 2008, and we didn't see a lot of activity for several years, but I think we're in that recovery mode now, and as you mentioned, over the last year or so, there's been lots of activity, and we now have a critical mass of businesses along 18th Street. They're doing some activities together, punctuated throughout the year, so they're really drawing some attention there. But there's always been some strength and good number of businesses along Lincoln Avenue, and the square is doing fine. Yeah, that's a good place to start a business. Like I said, each area has their own strengths and opportunities.
So they all add to Charleston's economic climate. So Cindy, what would you say is an attractive thing about Charleston for businesses to come to Charleston?
Well, when we are recruiting new businesses, we want to tell the story of Charleston, and we do kind of have a unique customer base. We have that, obviously, those EIU students, those 18 to 24 area, and they have money to spend that's a little bit more disposable than maybe some of our family people do. So you have that group of potential customers. You have our regular community residents who are here year-round. And we are also somewhat of a destination shopping area for some of our surrounding counties. We know we have people coming up from south of here, from east of here, from north of here, who come to Charleston to shop. So that's a nice, diverse customer base, which I think can be very attractive to a potential business.
Not to single out one of those new businesses, but a lot of people going to the new Aldi's there on the east side of Charleston.
Yeah.
And as we talked about previously on another City Spotlight episode on Charleston, how that could be a destination for the outlying areas like you.
Yes, absolutely.
Like
I think we also tend to, this is a good area for small businesses to thrive. And it's also an opportunity for entrepreneurs, those budding entrepreneurs. You know, anymore you can work out of your home or a small office and you can be selling product all over the world. So I think we foster entrepreneurship here in this area too.
All right, let's talk a little bit about EIU in Charleston, and going to backtrack about 10 months here as we tape in the beginning of December. There was a press conference meeting at Old Main late February. It was titled EIU's Impact of East Central Illinois. You were one of several community leaders that spoke at that. What did we learn from that?
Well, it was such a great opportunity for us to tell our story. Now, yes, it was brought about by somewhat of a crisis situation with the totally unexpected budget impasse at the state of Illinois. And so the purpose of that press conference was to talk about that impact of EIU, not only on Charleston, Coles County, but our whole region. So I was very grateful to be able to be a part of that. But one thing that kind of came out of that is we all intuitively know that EIU, you know, is very important to our area and has an impact. But finding data to support that was a little bit more challenging because the last formal study that had been done was done in 2002. Okay. So that after that press conference, we, in conversations with local community leaders, we talked about the need for an updated formal impact study for EIU, and that is actually being done at this time.
Wow.
Coles Together, our county-wide economic development entity, is partnering with the Coles County Regional Planning and Development Commission. They are in the midst now of doing that formal study based on data. The chamber was able to help out a little bit. We polled our members and gathered some qualitative information to supplement the quantitative data, and they are in the process of analyzing all that at this point and putting it together. It will end up a formal study, and we hope in early spring to be able to start talking about that information and sharing it with the public through the newspaper, radio, maybe your TV show.
I'll take you up on that offer.
But we want to tell that story, and I think it will be very powerful information. Like I said, EIU impacts not only Charleston, Coles County, but the region beyond.
Region within a region. 2002, such a long time ago. So this will be fresh data and be very useful information. So we can't wait to find out what that is. Cindy, Charleston and EIU. Why isn't EIU a strength to Charleston's business climate?
Well, definitely, it's the largest employer. Obviously, the students, and like I said, the way they spend money, and it's just the backbone of our economic climate around it. Universities also tend to be very stable employers and entities, even through downturns. So they've been a wonderful asset to this community for over 100 years.
Absolutely. Coming up, I believe, on 125 in Charleston, if the math is right, in just a few years. Let's talk Mattoon Chamber, because Charleston Chamber and Mattoon Chamber are starting to collaborate on things, and tell us about that.
Well, here in Coles County, we do have two kind of prominent communities, Charleston and Mattoon. They each have their own Chamber of Commerce. And business is all about building relationships. So the more people that we can put our members in contact with, the better for our members. We know what's good for Charleston is good for Mattoon. What's good for Mattoon is good for Charleston. So yes, we have begun kind of getting back on track, collaborating, doing more joint activities with the Mattoon Chamber, and I'm very excited about that. One of the first events we're doing jointly is the Community Update Breakfast, which will be Thursday, March 9th, and we are doing that with both chambers, so we hope to have a couple hundred people or more at that event. So yes, looking forward to that. That's exciting for 2017.
Here on City Spotlight, we've learned about new collaborations, projects that both Charleston and Mattoon are working, so it's great to hear your energy echoes the comments that Ed Dowd of the Mattoon Chamber told me just a few months back, and great to hear about that and hear more stories about what you guys are able to do. Any other events or anything else you're looking forward to? This is the first episode of 2017, so Happy New Year, and what are you looking forward to in 2017?
Well, we're switching up quite a few things that we do at our chamber. We're kicking off the year. We have our annual dinner later in January, our annual dinner and awards ceremony. We recognize our Citizen of the Year, Small Business of the Year, Diplomat of the Year, and it's a fun night with dueling pianos. We have the Community Update Breakfast in March. We have our women's event in April, a legislative update lunch in June, and we have two new events we're rolling out in 2017. We're going to do a Charleston Community Fun Run, and we are kind of taking over the Charleston Exchange Club bike race in June.
Okay.
So looking forward to that. Those are going to be some new events for us, but a way to involve our business community, bring more people to Charleston in this area, and involve the community residents. So it's kind of good on all points.
Thank you for listing all those events. So a lot of things going on with the Chamber there. First half of 2017. President and CEO of the Charleston Area Chamber of Commerce, Cindy White. It's been a pleasure having you on City Spotlight.
Thank you.
Excellent. We thank all of you for joining us on this latest episode of City Spotlight on Charleston. We'll see you next time. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com.